That's Sammy Gyamfi day. What watch day?
Obo watch sika one.
So what?
Agradaa.
So what? The whole country should spend precious time. The whole country discussing Sammy Gyamfi. So what watch day?
Watch sika.
Obi. That then you refer to my pefra. And look at some of the conversations. If you have a challenge with Sammy Gyamfi as a person, I don't give a toss about that. But you know, the word fairness should always be operational. Principles should always be operational in whatever we do and say. So no, now also I know the I don't want to know how I'm dealing with what a journalist I need to deal. And so Sammy Gyamfi, the morning show, drive time, afternoon show, online. Are we serious? And we have the courage to do comparisons that and Cecilia Dapa man pacho with the baby obia on your shows no more by no more audition because they don't fair mono easy. You have the courage to be comparing Cecilia Dapa Mammy Nimian 4-way situation and the Sammy Gyamfi.
Well, apart. There is really no link. I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
Oh dear, a case of your meal. I deal with Crano and yet what brand what 20 days.
They will record them.
Say the young Pamuno, and I and I say repeating stories all the time, and I said, I don't get it. We need to sit up and be principled as a very, 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 very good opposition and other people of different opinion. I think what we should be doing at this time, Obi, as I'm talking to you now, and you know, ACC will main under this government, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We need to talk about it. The kind of opposition that the MPP and other opposition parties are offering us, we need to talk about it. Now, some video no wakotoka okaira. Wakoma Agradaa $2,000 aira. We can question Cecilia Dapa because sabi or this can be court so be veritica. And never told just say or no space no. Why do you compare 1 million to 3,000 or to which I'm not even sure? Jimmy Boss can be keke.
No, the recipient they say 800.
I don't even want to go by that. I will not go by that. Me, I will not go by that. I said me who all kinds of but why? Why? The person Sammy Gyamfi we need no issues be fair in discussing matters of this sort. Ghana from Pamitomo beyond this. And time pass out. No, ya, when you're on a mission, dear, and deal with him on that score. But
because I agree with you.
Yes, Obi. Why are we making all
you may have issues with a political opponent or a politician because again may draw sad extension because any opposition party from Kwane Kasa. There are some Ghanaians.
That's what I said. Other people, yes.
Good. And I'm saying, sir, you can have an issue as a political opponent or as a Ghanaian who is not happy about Bibi Awehu. But let's also be fair. I mean, if we are not also careful, then we will lower the threshold too much. Threshold, there was a and that's why the same argument you will be here in the case of the Chief Justice.
Exactly.
So if we are not careful, the threshold for removing a Chief Justice, may lower it too much. The same thing here. I mean, because if Sika politician and was a politician elusu a juma or womua, then we have a problem.
Well, I'll be coming.
Every politician we need to have a situation.
It's the mindset that we have.
It's not problem.
Almost all the arguments, the target is not the act, it's the person. You don't know focal when it comes to governance in this country. You don't know focal. Intimacy.
It is be a learning way
aspect of it. Yeah, and Mabuna Monya favor before His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to be given positions that are so sensitive.
Yes.
Asempa FM.
Onim de ebiana munim de obonefo na hihya to amamu. Mu amu party for
and no person make us say and no crown
party for
the internal
party for
Charlie among for a wiki
party for now mo catch say we have cabinet ministers calling us. Charlie, We have party executives calling us. We have party sympathizers calling us. NDC groupings. Catch us that my animal fee say I try and say these are executioners or bravo. You think that is what we practice here? Now, Pentecost, I also go Empire. Now, Apostle Salas, one man. Now, Reverend Steve and the Pastor Stanley. Empire Mobile. Sadans, the Kurumun, Yoma, and Sam Fatano. And no, now the better higher what you man. I don't give a toss to what people say. I don't know. The bitterness and the trappings we continue to set for ourselves is too much, Ghana. I'll get to Sammy Gyamfi. But I stand with him on this matter.
Yeah.
I stand with him on this matter. And the code of conduct, and I went almost and the messenger, and that is what you are going to do.
But my other point,
that is what you are going to do.
Even if you want to go with the code of conduct, the code of conduct, man, a profile
the general question after everything I'll ask you, the code of conduct and the constitution of Ghana and the minister,
that's fine.
Now, behind us sometimes here, Kasa. The person, Sammy Gyamfi, I'm not dealing with the act. The act, there's nothing at stake. What can say me or any among more dear, who are doing more, who say, or Yahomaso and all those things, there be a media with the Kokawasi. Bamamumi, and you're hard unnecessarily on ourselves like that.
You give the dog a bad name.
Yes, yes, sir. A Krobia was what you tell. Many central for Mukwanoma represent many obi of various places. Mudisumasidra. When I'm with you, Abai Sisa, Obia, Unim do be a pet. When you say Japadian, now be Kim. Now, Kilano, Oshena, Ediam Kuntebu Pan, Abekwaku Buachina. Why? Why are we so punchy on ourselves like that? Now, Saminti and ye. Can Kabi. Minim Chewbia Kekakasa, Ufran into ma, cry any ye. Chile, Nipaduo na what ye so when a man your summer or him as young as he is. Inti Fred Abonam saw me body the castle in the work. Inti Fred Abonam is she a me was and a quarter baby. And I'll share of family and work all corner two bottom and a mammy $3,000 and I said $2,000. It will feel afraid about your pie, winning Yasi.
Sir, or because I think the other side is apart the recipient. That's fine. That's fine.
Only no problems, saying. I know the internal party business. Now, what would you actually? I was no problem. Oh, no, I got a day. Why are there now? Only no problem. Name never to my pay. Every social media. Me na me what this game me name their friend to X what the X baby ada kweseda no twa suit no shoot on Tony Ban na mo e me fa ma me team wa fe mo se me obi kwa manage me space am say me say na me sa obi ani do pen obi ba trash here obi so trash here it mean they me preaching and say you might have your personal political challenges with him. Your traditional challenges with him in terms of a Sunni binding the Yobi, said they better ha, any part binimuni and yajino. You can't stop it all. You can never stop it. If we are going to use this as a measurement for our politicians, yeah, MPP, TTU, can they shut up? Please.
Because that's where I think we should get to.
So what I say, because
and I spoke about threshold. If we are not careful, say you be yusu we say politician, who will be our manisika. It's as if you need any Ghana. Why should we even do that? I don't make a say trainman nipa any BBA on all fours. No, are dear way dear, but not this. If you want to
Obi, let me thank. The chief of staff. The latest information crime I say free office or no. We watch the coming days.
Asempa.
It will be a Kabiano. Oh, can your mind chichi? Sammy Gyamfi or ye was so Ghana. A ye das anima. Ye idea who ordain your mama, a president, Mamin to, I would have used a sledgehammer, and I did still work. I was like, a sledgehammer. Yeah, I didn't know what bonnet money. Mesre obi mesre
yeah
say e biri bi ada no hu kum bebre a yeah ye kujam
into me no man. I think we have to even chip this in say when so one for me. I think constant refreshers for appointees the president and the chief of staff should take it very serious. There are so many lessons from Tadiwe in this modern social media world. You might be doing something that free say you might not know who is watching. It especially for the young appointees. This should also tell you say the sensibilities of the Ghanaian. See, we are woke. Into the slightest thing, it is so many sensibilities. Into appointees now more pay show off. Usu, tell my hand account. Usu never chat. U3Ps never chat.
The expensive one, and I say also got to be the office.
Now they are basic office.
Now what charge?
Now we be iPad. We be away. Now we see it for flower. Send your mano. Yenka say won to me. You have money to do those things. But there is something called the sensibilities of Ghanaians. The young appointees should watch it. This should be a lesson to everybody. But I honestly think, sir, even when you take the code of conduct, code of conduct, punishment I profano, you will reprimand. You will so be forfeited salary, your suspension, your dismissal.
Yes. Chief of staff, the latest information I've got.
Yes. And why everybody thinks for this? Oh, he should be sacked. Yempamono. I don't understand where it's coming from. But the point is it should be something grievous. Yes, I've heard the argument around Adeno Yusu dollar, the fact that CDs a legal tender for the payment of any amount in Ghana and all of that. Yes, fair argument. And I believe that sense, that moment of indiscretion, he was then pushed to apologize, which he has done. And we should be a bit with me. If it was something grievous, if it's a dear way, dear. Not this. This really, for me, doesn't meet the threshold. Well, with the greatest of
the biggest problem,
it doesn't meet the threshold.
The biggest problem this exposes us to is a reasonable percentage of young hands from where I sit who don't have experience in terms of managing situations in this country and certain sensitive positions. And yet a bit risky and dangerous. You can't run away from that fact. That in political appointment, it's not just a matter of we need certain
experience,
of course,
competence,
of course. But a certain kind of experience and politically. Otina AKT Hamon Munasi, Otina other people Munasi, one disciplinarian, former road minister, Amakwata Dibiamika. You don't have to just bam. And that's how we are doing to ourselves now. Straight from university, bam. No, what did you want? Now, who we are? Me, my age, 27 years. Me. I'm being even questioned why I drive a Lexus. 50-year-old man. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm in a hospital and I'm a military and I'm a politician. 27 good years, I can't afford a Lexus. Or you think that we come to sit here and by the grace of God, because you engage your service, that's all that we sit here to do? Say what me point na say. Too much.
And we so one thing. We've always said this thing. Politics here, a dirty game, a treacherous game, and all of
we have fed our minds with that.
But the truth of the matter, is in the last few days, said in our cano, when you see the kind of people are afraid, say I'm like, really? The same party.
So there are platforms that
Actually, the same party. The same party.
You know, so remember the person Sammy Gyamfi so.
Wow.
Sammy Gyamfi tie na tie ni ye. I speak to you as a brother. Today
as a younger brother.
As a brother. Tomorrow maybe I will not speak to you as a brother.
Yeah.
Mesro, I am sure that you have learned the best of lessons from this act of omission were displayed. Where they crucify him, no? 12 apostles no man free by you. Crucify him, no? Uncle free baby, I must say, apostles Makumaku edu nienu no. No, free by crucify him. So your crucifixion process, no?
Yes.
You should come out as a refined politician. Because you engage 20 people. I'll tell you 18 of the people now engage on Sammy Gyamfi. Ebinu kasa with Akoma. One of them say, and you win and you made a show ni share kwana ebe buano kwan bebre so a. Yesi onipa onti wachi asem. Senka wonnam ana oti wachi asem a na ka odon sa ego ti medie meka kire no meka kire young executives no manyanya appointments
young appointees
no say when you were in a position it said the churo konkura kan na me ya akwada no
na me dwen say
akwada manyini die meye ama mini ya I say me penyimu
yes
obanyansafo
yebunebe yenkanasem. And as a follow-up no, to the young appointees, once again, this one should tell you, sir, the temptations, the tests, and everything a dorso. And you should rise above board. You should rise above board. I've said and I would maintain, sir, what Sammy Gyamfi we saw on video, for me, doesn't meet the threshold to dismiss an appointee. It doesn't meet the threshold for me, in all honesty. I mean, at worst, a reprimand, forfeiture of salary, a suspension at worst, but dismissal, no. And somebody might have a different opinion, but I think we should be fair. We should be fair. If we maintain this to be the threshold, then no politician will survive in this country. Because politicians chesika and yawaha, we interview a lot of politicians when they leave the studio ubedu yanim wana Ghana from all walks of life bebre, and we can name politicians MPP NDC na Ghana for gwenim ha bebre omunyina one thing omo bejiska one request or the other, and politicians abahano e de omo nsa show muboto omo kan mu yiska e de man kofo wenim ha. And that's what I'm saying, sir. If we reduce the threshold, like the same argument we made in the case of the Chief Justice, then every politician would suffer. Until let's maintain the threshold and fix the threshold well. And yes, every politician will be an endangered species. You know, for me, it doesn't meet it. Say, Yempam, the young man. And let's face it. I mean, you may have your disagreements with him. But for a 35-year-old to have been entrusted with this big responsibility of setting up a whole gold board in record time, which he's done. I mean, any major agitations from stakeholders in the space and all of that. I don't think there will be many people like him in the NDC at that age. I bet the kind of job a young man in the last 3-4 months. He may not be perfect. I mean, you go to PMMC Gold Board, there would be issues here and there. But I think generally, he's done a really good job. And that's why I maintain, sir, this cannot meet the threshold for him to be fired. I honestly don't think so. But a lesson, a reprimand will do, and then he would pick the right lessons, not only him, for all the other young appointees from Ereke J to Eduji Tamaklo to Basentale to Asafwe J to all the other young appointees. Pick lessons from this. And know, so say, you have to be careful, have all your eyes widely open. Because again, said Omanhene, the people you think empower them might not be your opponent in the opposition political party. They may be people in your own political party. Inti Ashiye here. Sometimes say, the people may not see anything wrong with Sammy Gyamfi and his donation, but he who calls for equity must come with clean hands. How much was in his vehicle for him to have doled out 10,000? But how do you know, say he doled out 10,000? And how much is at his home? If we say someone had $1 million in their home, have we put the two scenarios together? There are more questions than answers. That's from Sam Pine and Odiwe Abba. Yes, into Mekwa Homaneso na Medin Komo, Reverend Charles Owusu. Say nkomo aye di no o bibi kakro no spese ode epe so nti me yentie no na